Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 17 Thursday night football showdown on DraftKings, and I've got a breakdown for you. We're going to go over all the viable captains that I think are the viable captains, the most viable captains for the night. We're going to build an underdog pick 'em. We're going to take a look at some dart throws, guys that I believe are going to be under 25% that can help you out to win across your 150, or if you're single entry building. It's an interesting game, I guess, between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee has some things that are yet to be determined, whether or not they are going to play all of their players, because week 17 is not a meaningful game for them, but week 18 is. They can't really make it as a wild card. They can if they win their division, and all they have to do is win in week 18. So we're not going to have all of the information on this video, as I'm recording it on Wednesday, to know if their guys are going to be inactive. Guys like Derrick Henry, guys like their quarterback Willis, or some of their wide receivers, to get them all healthy to be able to go in week 18, because winning or losing this game for them does not matter. If you want to stay as up to date on things, go over to our Discord, smizzle.tv/Discord. And if you're a channel member here on YouTube or a Twitch subscriber, you get access to all the VIP rooms where everybody can keep you as up to date as possible, and there's always somebody to talk about daily fantasy with. So without any further ado, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
The Week 17 Smiz Gang Listener League is posted. It is 3,000 entries, just like it was last week. $10 to enter and 3 max, but it does not exist in the lobby. Go to smizzle.tv/links if you wanted to get your entry into the best tournament that exists on DraftKings. I will shout out all of the winners, everybody who finishes in the top 10 on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel. Link to that also in that link tree. We have a recap video that comes out every single Monday to go over everything that happened the previous week, my cash game lineup, my high stakes lineup, my millionaire maker lineups, what I got right, what I got wrong, everything else, as well as shouting out the top 10 finishers in the Smiz Gang Listener League. So go to smizzle.tv/links and join today. Let's go over to Underdog Fantasy. I do not want to play Donnarumma. I'm not doing soccer pick'ems. It's the other kind of football. We want American. So the way that I believe that this game is going to go is Dallas is going to romp. Now, whether or not that really happens, whether or not that materializes, I don't know. Cowboys currently 9.5-point favorites. Obviously, if the Titans end up sitting any of their players, this could get way, 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 way worse. As it sits right now, there's no Titans on the board. So I can't really fill one of these out for you. But if you don't have an account on Underdog Fantasy, you can go to their site, underdogfantasy.com, use the promo code ALSMIZZLE, ALSMIZZLE, all one word. You get up to $100 deposit bonus on your first deposit to the site. I want to take all the hires because hires are more fun, but you need to pick 2 games. I'll pick one that has to do with the weekend. Let's go over on Jacoby Myers just to get a second team, because you have to have a second team in there, right? So let's say over 238 passing yards, and there's no running backs on this. We'll get to that in a minute as to why. And give me over 6 receptions for CD Lamb. So I'm going to put 50 on this, submit, and we can win 6-1 on that. Go check out everything they have over on Underdog Fantasy. Let's go take a look at the slate for this night, for this Thursday night. And we've got very few optimal captains. The first guy that I want to talk about, the most optimal captain, obviously is going to be CD Lamb. He has been absolutely fantastic. 100 yards or a touchdown in 6 of his last 8 games. Like, people don't want to think about him as being consistent, but he has turned into an extremely consistent receiver over the course of this entire season. Like, everybody that plays him seems to be chalk on his bad weeks. Like, he was chalk against Houston. He was not chalk the week he went completely bonkers against Green Bay. He was chalky earlier in this season, specifically against Tampa Bay, because people were going to play the passing game against Tampa, not the running game early in the season, because that's typically how we do things. So, like, CD Lamb has that anchor bias to being the guy that has not performed consistently, and he has been exactly that. Now, while he is not one of the league leaders, he's not Justin Jefferson trying to break the single season receiving record. He's not Tyreek Hill, who was off to gangbuster start over the first 6 to 8 weeks. He's just been solidly marching along here in his 3rd season. 8 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 18.4 DraftKings points on the year, and getting a lot of involvement. A lot of involvement every single week in terms of his targets. He is the optimal captain on this slate. And if you are going to play him at your captain, I would highly suggest, if you think he's going to have one of those 25 to 30 point days, Dak Prescott should be brought along with him. Now, that can change for a couple of reasons. One, I mentioned how Derrick Henry may or may not play in this game. I don't think that teams are going to sit players. People are worried that Jacksonville's going to sit players this weekend. Tennessee has actually done this in the past where they've kind of throttled guys down because of the data that shows that players coming off of bye weeks do tend to perform better, and they need to win that game in week 18 and can punt off this game this week to make sure that they have all of their weapons healthy or as healthy as possible. And that pass defense, that entire defense really on the Titans, they've been a pass funnel defense so far this year. They're very big and tough up front, and they force teams to throw against them. Well, now like they've got like 7-8 players that are injured that are very meaningful, play a lot of snaps on that defense. Now on the other side of the ball, if they play Derrick Henry with Willis at quarterback, he's going to get 25 plus opportunities. Now, Dallas's defense is certainly a spot that we don't always want to run up against, but like, does it matter with Derrick Henry? He is one of the most matchup independent running backs in the league, one of the best in terms of breaking long touchdowns, and also can break slates. So if he is playing and if he is a full go, as I said, join the Discord, smizzle.tv/Discord. Make sure that you know everything before lineups lock, check the inactives and everything. I love the fact that they have actually involved him a ton in the passing game so far this year. He is an expensive captain. He is also one that could get schemed out of this game if game script does not stay close. If they get down 17 points, which is a definite possibility with Willis at quarterback, the Dallas defense, the Dallas offense going particularly against the Tennessee Titans defense, which is not good at stopping the pass, which is a place where the Dallas Cowboys are very good. So like, I think that he is a captain play, but not an optimal captain play. And the player that we have to talk about right now is Tony Pollard, non-participant in Tuesday's practice. Tony Pollard has been extremely important to this team. He has shown that he is a very viable running back in all the facets that people were not willing to give him credit for being in seasons past, or hell, even at the first 5, 6, 7 weeks of this season. Doesn't pass block really well. Well, he's one of the top 10 pass block running backs in terms of PFF's grades. He doesn't run well inside the tackles. He's run exceptionally well inside the tackles. He's not good in short yardage. He's converted a ton of touchdowns on short yardage opportunities, specifically in the weeks where Ezekiel Elliott was out, because Ezekiel Elliott does still get all of the, like 2 times as many inside the 5 carries as Tony Pollard. Now, if Tony Pollard does not play in this game, Ezekiel Elliott's going to see an expanded number of snaps and running back touches. We could probably expect 22 to 25 out of him if that is indeed the scenario that takes place. He has still been a high volume, like not super high volume, but like not exactly phased out. He's got touchdowns in 47 straight games. Not really, but I'm close. He is the primary inside the 5 go-to option on the ground for these Cowboys, and he has gotten a solid amount, if an unspectacular amount, of volume. He's not getting 8 carries, 16, 15, 17, 16, 15, and look at all these touchdowns that have fallen out because they're high value carries in the red zone, in goal to go, and inside the 5-yard line. He has also been involved in the passing game, not as much predictably on a week in, week out basis, but again, if Tony Pollard is out and all of this volume, let's say he gets 80% of the running back snaps and touches, Zeke does, as opposed to the 45 to 50% that both of them are sharing right now when both are healthy, it would not be out of the realm of possibility to expect maybe 18 to 20 carries out of Zeke on 80% of the snaps and running back touches, with 4 to 6 targets as well, including all of the inside the 5 carries. If Pollard's out, Ezekiel Elliott becomes the number 1 optimal captain on this slate. Even though Tennessee is a pass funnel defense, Zeke will have more than enough volume on a team that should score just a boatload of points. Like implied team total of like 29 right now, I believe, is where they're sitting at. So Ezekiel Elliott is that if-then statement so far on this slate. Looking at dart throw-ish captains, guys who could have a big game, specifically because I don't want any other Tennessee Titan captains. I just don't think that they're going to do well. Michael Gallup could latch onto a long touchdown or 2. He is a dart throw captain. We have not really seen him blow up this year. 1 year off of that knee injury. It usually takes a year and a half for them to kind of get their legs back under them, so to speak. No pun intended. But somebody else who does have multiple touchdown upside in this spot would be Dalton Schultz, coming off of 2 straight 4-target games. Disappointing opportunity. So he's going to be disappointed the people who played him in those 2 weeks, last week specifically against Philadelphia, where he was kind of a chalky option on the main slate. You want these situations because that means that people are not going to play him at the captain. So you're going to get exposure to a captain that has 60-yard, 2-touchdown upside, 6-7 catches against a defense that's not equipped to stop anybody through the air. In a situation, they do project for 4 touchdowns on the game. that's exactly the type of captain that you want to buy into. Coming off of a couple of bad weeks, people are going to shy away. They're going to go to the more shiny objects. So Dalton Schultz kind of becomes that guy. We have just 3.5 days remaining. It's Wednesday when I'm recording this video. So if you're watching it on Wednesday or Thursday before the game, our fundraiser ends on midnight of December the 31st. Every donation that you make through smizzle.tv/charity is 100% tax deductible. So if you have enjoyed the content this season, if you have had a winning season and you're looking for a 100% tax deductible donation to give to, go to smizzle.tv/charity and give to No Kid Hungry today. We are less than $500 away from the next $10,000 match from me, and every single dollar helps us get there. And if we get $10,500 donated, that will trigger 2 10K matches from me. We're probably not going to get to that 100K goal, but we might get really, really close the more that everybody can take part in this fundraiser. No Kid Hungry provides school breakfast, lunches, as well as at-home care to food insecure kids all across America, and we are somewhat spoiled and privileged to be able to have the expendable income to play on daily fantasy, especially in single game showdown. So if you have a couple of bucks that you could scrounge together in the couch and go to smizzle.tv/charity and give today, it would be greatly appreciated. And let's try and make a difference here as part of this. Looking at a couple of dart throws from this before we head over to Fantasy Labs and plug everything into the lineup builder. One thing I did want to mention, obviously, with as bad as this Tennessee offense tends to be, the defense for the Cowboys is extremely good, and they're very expensive on this slate. At captain, they're 8,700, and I do believe they're going to be overrepresented at captain. So while they may end up being the optimal captain, if they are, great. But like, I would expect like 20+% at captain from the Dallas Cowboys defense, which is scary high. And if they are that, then it's probably better to just have them in the main flex spots. Like if you wanted to allow 2 and specifically build rules on Fantasy Labs, or if you're hand building to go after the Cowboys defense, as well as their kicker, and plug those guys in, because you know they're going to score a lot of points, and then use the savings to build around and go with a 5v1 with 3 offensive players, kicker, defense, and 1 Tennessee Titans cheap-ish sort of player, like a punt play. That's fine. My 3 guys, I'm going to start with 2 guys on the Titans, since I haven't really talked much about the Titans on this, because I don't really like the Titans offense, specifically in this spot. But Chig Okonkwo does have that big play type of ability, coming off of a unspectacular performance against Houston after 4 or 5 straight games, 4 games where he's had a lot of volume and has gotten a 28-yard long, a 41-yard long, scored a touchdown against Jacksonville when he was kind of chalky on that week 14 slate. But he's exactly the type of player that you want to go after on a showdown, because every touchdown matters, and they may not score many, but they do look to him to be impactful, because they don't have very many other impactful players offensively. And on the other side, Treylon Burks to try and help out Willis. Willis has definitely looked for him when they throw the ball, but Willis doesn't throw the ball very much. So you're going to see depressed percentages on every single one of the Titans' offensive pass catching weapons, which is why we're utilizing them as dart throws. 5,400 in the flex, really low floor, really high ceiling, because Burks is a very good player when the ball is in his hands. The problem is getting it to him, and we will see if they can scheme it his way. The last player is Noah Brown. Now, talked about a lot of guys, right, on this Dallas team, but we never mentioned Noah Brown. And he's had spike weeks, 9 targets here, 6 targets here, 7 targets here. They do come in a somewhat random way, which is what you're looking for from a dart throw. I believe he is going to be under 20%, under 25%, which makes him perfect for this category, as we've seen the massive upside. 12.5 points against Houston, 22.9 against Jacksonville. And if this game does get out of hand, maybe he gets a few more snaps. If they do try to take away exactly that one guy in CeeDee Lamb and Gallup can't get over the top, then Noah Brown becomes exactly the type of player you want to play against a pass funnel defense like Tennessee. Going over to Fantasy Labs, you can see the rules that I build. If you want to allow defense in your captain spot, that's just fine. The rules that we go with, if you're going to use a captain quarterback, pair him with at least 2 of his skill position players, wide receiver, tight end, kicker. A running back can end up there, but unless it's a team where I think they're going to throw like 20% of the passes to the running back, like Los Angeles was earlier this year, like New England with Ramondre for a few weeks out of the season. Typically, I don't force the running back into that quarterback captain lineup, but I'm not going to disallow it either. It's just I want to force the pass catchers because they correlate at a much higher percentage, at a much more plus EV way. If you have a captain quarterback, use the skill position players, not defense or kicker, from the opposing team, at least one of them. Captain wide receiver, tie the quarterback to him. If you're using a captain tight end, tie the quarterback to those lineups and you can limit to at most one defense or kicker from the same game. If you want to expand it to in any lineup, that's fine with me because of the game that we have on tap. I'm going to leave it at 1 for the purpose of this video. Apply those settings, build my 150 lineups, and you can do the same thing if you head over to smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. That link will be down below in the pinned comment. You can get a discounted subscription, especially on the 8-month variety. That is the best value because you not only get NFL projections and the lineup builder, you get college football for bowl season, NBA season, college basketball, MLB when it comes back around, and golf and NHL all the time. It's the best value that exists through my link. And make sure that you're not just clicking generate and thinking that I'm going to enter 150 lineups and just print money. It does not work that way. You have to take a lot of time massaging and manicuring the lineups to get the correlations, the allocations, and the combinations that you're looking for throughout your lineup. So thank you guys for watching, and look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.